Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. We're going to be covering Windows functions, specifically using sum, count, and average. And I'd like to start by saying, if you know how to work with SQL group by, Windows functions should not take you so long to grasp, because Windows functions and group by are not very different. The only difference is group by will limit you to the number of distinct rows of the item you're grouping it by. So let's say, like for our first example, we're going to be grouping by education level. And if there are 4 education levels, it will limit you to 4 rows. On the other side, a Windows function will allow you to maintain the original number of rows, but still also output the aggregated, be it sum of whatever you're summing for each category. So yeah, let's get into the query. Oh yeah, but before we get into the query, in case you're new here, welcome, and please note this is one of many videos that have already come and more yet to come. So yeah, if you're interested in following along in this tutorial, please feel free to subscribe. And secondly, if you don't have MySQL and you don't know how to load a CSV or Excel file onto your MySQL environment, please feel free to go and check out my SQL tutorial. The first ever video there will show you how you can you can upload your CSV or Excel onto the MySQL environment. And yeah, code along with me. Plus, I also include a link to a tutorial that helped me download MySQL into my machine. So you can also check out that tutorial, do the same. So we are on the same page. Yeah, and I think that's it, to make sure everyone is at par. And oh yeah, I'll be linking the dataset that I'm using down in the comments, in the description below. I'll also link the code. Once I'm done, I'll link the code down below. Otherwise, guys, let's get into it. So, what are we interested in? So, let me just run this. Okay, so let's use age. So I'm going to be using age as my unique identifier. So if I say person 58, just know I'm referring to like this person 54 and whatnot. For the purposes of this tutorial, it won't be confusing, I promise you. So we want education and we want this person's balance here. And now we need to at this point is where we're going to introduce our window function, yeah? So we want sum balance over partition by. So partition by works like group by. So we are partitioning by education because that's what we are interested in as. So we're going to call this sum ed balance. Yeah, so sum education balance here. Yeah? So let's run this and see what happens. So as you can see, we have person 25, education level primary. Their balance is 129, and the total balance for everyone who has the education level of primary is 8.5 million. Yeah. So let's quickly scan down. So we can see for secondary, we have person 56. His or her balance is 659 out of a total balance of 26.7 million for everyone who has the education balance secondary. So as you can see, we're maintaining the original number of rows, but we're able to see the aggregated sum of everyone who has under the education level secondary, under the education level primary. So we also have unknown. So like person 78 is unknown. Their balance is 4984, and their if I'm reading this correctly, this is 2.8 million. So under the category unknown, there's a balance of 2.8 million. So I wanted to get a tertiary. So if I'm reading this correctly, I'm so used to having the commas to help me split. This is 23.3 million under the education level tertiary. So yeah, let me show you guys how this would be different, like under group by, and also illustrate why like Windows functions and group by not so different. So select, we have education, then we want to sum balance as balance from okay, let's run this and see what happens. Oh, so we need to group by 1. Okay. So in case you're not familiar with group by, but honestly, if you've reached this level of the tutorial, you are probably already familiar with group by, but here let me mention, you could either do group by 1 or do group by education. So 1 is like a placeholder / alias. So as you can see here, this is the first column I'm calling, then the second column. So I'm grouping by 1, which is education. So you could either represent the column you're grouping by its location. So is it position 1, 2, 3, or 4, or the actual name. So it's just easier. It will also boost your efficiency when you use the position instead of the name of the column. So yeah, as you can see, Windows function when working with aggregate functions is not very different from group by. The only difference is as group by limits you to the number of distinct categories. So like for example, education has four distinct categories: tertiary, secondary, unknown, and primary. So it limits you to this. So if you can remember correctly, when we were quickly scanning, tertiary was 3.2, secondary was 23.3 million, 26.7 million, unknown was 2.8, and primary was 8.5. So the only difference again is with the Windows function, you could see like, oh, person 57, this is their balance, and this is the aggregated balance for their category they are in. Yeah. So we can go back here and let's uncomment and run this again. Okay, so this can help you prioritize. So if you say, okay, from the previous, the aggregate function, I cannot remember. I think it was it tertiary or secondary that had the highest balance? It was secondary followed by tertiary. So we're like, okay, we need to collect as much money as possible. Maybe our collection rate is not very good, like too many people are in default. We could prioritize the tertiary and the secondary guys. So if we say, let's see who will bump into first there. So we're like, okay, so like this guy falls under secondary, but his balance is only 48 out of 26.7 million. So why not start with this higher hanging fruit? So like guy 48 who has a balance of this is 3,287 out of the 26 million. So we're like, if you collect on this guy, we are likely to contribute more to the percentage collected and whatnot. So you see, like this tells you like when should I be using an aggregate function versus when should I be using a Windows function. Like off the top of my head, I think a Windows function is very good for like operational reports, while aggregated values are probably good for like upper, should I say, like not at a tactical level, more of like at a strategic level. Like someone in senior leadership might not be so interested, like a C-suite might not be very interested on like this breakdown, but this would be very helpful, like at operational level. So yeah, so this is just, like be very mindful, like when do I need to use a Windows function? When do I need to use a group by? Who has asked me to generate a report for them, create a dashboard for them? Is the nature of their work more operational? Should I be getting to this nitty-gritty, or should I be aggregating everything and just showing them at a high level? This is what is happening. Not to say that a Windows function is quote unquote useless when you're reporting to like C-suite level people. No. There are many other ways you could use a Windows function. They're very good for like creating time series data. So there are instances where you would need a Windows function to still generate like high level reports. So yeah, just that was just a side note, because yeah, that's something I learned on the job. Like, someone will ask you for a report and it could be the same report. Maybe you've already created it, you just need to tweak it. So you need to be able to know how to switch and know when to give who what. So I think we're going to stick to one example. I thought we'd do 3 questions, but honestly, it's the same thing. So no need to do 3 questions. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the count and the average. So we're going to add the count and the average. So here we're going to do average education balance. So let's put average. Then here we're going to do so this is going to do the same thing as the sum, the Windows function using sum. The only difference is, of course, we all know how average works, count works. In case you're not familiar with these aggregate functions, please feel free to go check out the video that I already created on the various aggregate functions. But yeah, here it will just give us the average balance per category. So that's secondary, primary, tertiary, and unknown. Then it will give us the count of, how many people fall under secondary, primary, tertiary, and unknown. So let's run that. Okay, so as you can see, person 25, their balance is 129 out of 8.5 million. That is in arrears for everyone in the, what is it called, in the primary education level. And on average, we have 1,250. So that means from all these 6,851 people, on average, each of them owes us 1,250. And I've already said it, the count for education balance is 6,851. So if we scan through slowly, yes, as you can see, this is secondary. Person 59 has a balance of 106 out of 26.7 million that is owed by the whole of that category, which is education level secondary. And on average, everyone in this education level secondary owes us 1,157, and there are a total of 23,202 people who owe us on average 1,157. So yeah, again, this would be like something very insightful and useful for someone at a tactical level, someone at an operational level, because they're able to see their numbers, and this will enable them strategize. As I've said this before, and I really like, the plan for next year is to start doing like more sit-down videos and just talk about like, what's a data analyst? What does a data analyst really do? What's a good dashboard? How to know what type of report or what type of dashboard to generate, etc. But I talked about, like, in my video on who's a data analyst and what does a data analyst really do, I talked about like 3 things. A data analyst, three things or 2 things. Guides decision making, and guides strategy. I think, okay, I can't remember. I think there were 3 things. I don't know, there were 2. So guiding decision making and guiding strategies. As you can see, once you avail this information, you're able to answer the ops person's question, and they're able to, make data-driven decisions. And these quote-unquote small decisions will eventually build up to form a strategy. Depending on how you decide to come up with the strategies, could be top-down or bottom-up. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video. On the next video, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can alias this. Oh, no. Actually, let's do one more thing. So partition by education, you could also order by anything. So you could order it by date, you could order, but now in this case, let's order by balance. Yeah, so I want, yeah, so let's pay attention. So as you can see, person 25 is the first one here with 129. Yeah, so if we run this, what is going to happen? So as you can see, person 29 is no longer the first person. It's ordered by balance. Yeah, so but 0, 59, 91. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Let's do if we order by page. Let's order by balance and put the order by balance in all of them. Close and order by is in ascending. Okay, this makes more sense. So order by is normally in ascending by default. So from the smallest to the highest. So if we do order by balance, when we do descending, descending, descending. Oops. Right. So as you can see, like it's like you'll not always get what you expect. So it's up to you to look at it, analyze and debug. Yeah, because you see, like now I'm partitioning by education and I'm ordering by balance. Yeah, but why? Why? Ah, I think I get what it's doing. But that's what I wanted it to do. But I get what it's doing. I get what it's doing. I get. So if you watch it correctly, it's doing what is it called? Like this is person 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get. So like here, it's starting with 2604. Then this person owes 21, 22. So if we do 2604 plus 2604 plus 21, 22, you get 47, 26. Yeah. So okay, so now to make our life easier, instead of me looking for where primary ends, so let's do where education. Education is equals to, I had it saved here, primary, yeah? So try to keep in mind how much we had seen for the total of primary initially. Okay, then let's scroll down. As you can see, the last one is 8.5, which is the total of primary. Yeah, so notice what adding order by balance has done. So instead of just like the sum, it's not just the sum of everything, it's the sum of everything as of where you are. Yeah, so if you are at person 21, it's summing everyone whose balance is less than person 21 up to 21, and like, oh, this is a sum for everyone less than person 21, and it continues and it continues, and that's a total of 671 people, and it shows you their average, which is 990. And this is, I think this is very useful. This is very helpful because it's not just aggregating. So it's showing you, oh, the first small 10 people, this is their statistics. Then like that, as you keep on adding more people, as the loans keep growing, now you keep on, the statistics keep on shifting row by row. So there's so much I can get into with this, like why this is very helpful. But you guys watch out for the project that I will release as from, this is October, as from November, because I'm scheduled to release a project before this month ends, and that's going to be still a beginner level project. So I will probably not use any Windows function concepts there, or if I do, they'll be very simple. But I'd love to show you how you generate this fast and how you can use this column generated for further analysis, further insights, how to visualize this, and etc. Yeah, so yeah, if that's something you're interested in, like, yes, now you've learned, you know how Windows function work, but let's put it all together in a project, like right from Windows function, CTEs, aggregate function, group by, etc, everything that I did before this, like everything I've done this video before, will start being incorporated in projects as from November. So if you're interested in that, yeah, feel free to subscribe so that you're notified when I bring these projects to you. And if you have any questions, any comments, any particular type of content, type of projects that you want me to cover, what concepts you want me to like show you how you actually use it in real life, in building a project as a data analyst, as a data scientist, let me know down below. And also, yeah, like this video if you found it helpful, because yeah, it helps me understand that, oh, more and more people are liking this. This is more of the type of variation of content that I should continue creating. Let me know by commenting, by liking. And yeah, guys, that is the end of this video. If you have any questions, please let me know down below. And yeah, thanks for watching. And as I mentioned earlier, this is just one video of many tutorials that have already come and more that are yet to come. So if it's something that you're interested in, stay tuned, more projects to come. And yeah, thank you for, like, I'm really enjoying like your response. You guys actually appreciating my work and letting me know like how it's driving value for you. Yeah, thank you for it feels good to not be, it's not one-sided. I'm not just talking to my screen. I know I'm talking to people. I know people are getting value. And yeah, it also motivates me. And on top of that, you guys are really challenging me to also like, up my skills. Like I'm planning to, so I predominantly work with SQL and Python. Python was the first data analysis, data science tool that I learned. So the two tools that I'm very comfortable with, the SQL and Python. So I also do a lot of like data visualization, but I do it in one of those BI tools that are not very common. It's not Tableau, it's not Power BI. So you guys have challenged me, and I'm very excited about like enrolling into a Power BI course and just bringing for you guys some crazy level like Python, SQL, Power BI, Tableau tutorials, like building some amazing dynamic real-time dashboards for you people. Very excited, and I appreciate the challenge. Now, for real, bye guys, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.